Now we're going to get into some of the little bit more fun stuff. Today we're going to talk about, where do chords come from? Where do chords come from? So, first thing is, we got to know the major scale, because all the chords come from the major scale, okay? So, let's write out a major scale, okay? We're going to write out the D major scale. You're probably going to get tired of hearing that, but I'm trying to help you help yourself. I'm trying to help you help yourself. I can't imitate Tom Cruise from Jerry Maguire very good, but anyway, so the D major scale, okay? You know where it comes from. So, the D major scale, I wrote it out with my not so great writing, but that's okay. Now, you know where these notes came from now. You've been following all the lessons. You know where the notes come from. I'm not making it up. I'm not looking at these, you know, weird Sumerian cryptic messages on a rock somewhere. This is where it comes from, okay? The notes in the D major scale are D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, and D. So, every chord has a formula. It's pretty simple. It goes like this. It goes first, third, and fifth. So what does that mean? Well, it means we take the first degree, which is D, the third degree F sharp, and the fifth degree A, and we put them together, and we have the notes in a D major chord. D, F sharp, A. Let's take a second, and let's analyze the fingerings in a D major chord. So now you can play your open D major chord. So if we look at it, okay, what do we have here? Well, we have your open D string, okay, yeah, it's in the chord. Your first finger is playing the second fret on the G string. Well, we know that that's an A. Okay, that's the fifth degree. All right, it's in the chord. Your third finger is playing the third fret on the B string, which is a D again. So we have a first, and we got our fifth, and we have a first again. Now, our second finger on the high E string, what note is that? Second fret on the high E string? Well, if you played the string by itself, it would be E. First fret would be F. The second fret would be F sharp. So all three of those notes are in that chord. Now, you can play any combination of those notes all over the guitar neck, and you're going to have a D major chord, okay? So, without getting into what are called triad inversions and all that, we're not going to worry about all that. You're still new to the guitar. You're still learning all this. I'm not going to start throwing more complicated terms at you, okay, and talk over your head. That's not learning. That's confusing the hell out of people, okay? So, it's the same thing. If you want to know the notes in a C major chord, write out the C major scale, take the first degree note, the third degree note, and the fifth degree note. You know, you wrote out the degrees of the major scale. So the note that's under the 1, the note that's under the 3, and the note that's under the 5, put them together. And when you play your C, whatever fingering you use, you're probably going to notice when you figure out what the notes are, oh yeah, it's those notes that he's talking about. They're either a C, E, and a G, okay? So that is where the major chord, or the major triad, I use the T word, triad, that's where it comes from, okay? So we're going to do another type of triad, okay? We're going to do the minor. So a minor chord, folks, okay? The minor chord goes like this. It goes first, flat third, and we have, oh, that's not very nice writing. Sorry about that. I'm kind of writing on an angle here. Flat third, and we have fifth. So a lot of people in your situation would look at this and go, what the hell does that mean? What is that? What's going on there? So what it means is, anytime you see something that has a formula, all chords and scales have formulas. If it has a little flat sign on it, okay, so we have a flat third, it means you take the third degree, in this case would be F sharp, and you lower it a half step. So if we take F sharp and we lower it a half step, we have F, okay? So then we have D. Bad writing again. You know, I am a man, and I have man brain, and it's always a challenge. But I'm not a very good multitasker. You're probably able to put that together. D, F, and A. So let's do an analysis here of playing a D major chord. Okay, so the D major chord, your second finger is fretting the second fret on the high E string. That's where your F sharp is, right? Now, If we make it minor, if you notice the fingers, because you've already learned a D and you've already learned a D minor, there's one little change in the fingering. You're playing one note different, and that is the note on the E string. You're moving from F sharp, you're lowering it a half step, and now you're playing an F. That's what gives it that really sad sound. That's why when I say major sounds happy, minor sounds sad. Well, that's because of the flat third, okay? So that is the major and minor triads. Now you know where those chords come from. I did a video not too long ago, 7 seventh chords in 7 minutes. Pretty crazy, eh? Yeah, I thought so. So a seventh chord, it has a formula too, okay? We'll cover that one today too, just for fun, okay? First, third, and fifth, it's looking like a major triad, right? Not so fast. But then we're adding what's called a flat 7. Well, before someone goes, what the hell does that mean? Well, so we have, okay, again, I want to do this so you guys can see it without any glare from the letting. D, F sharp, A, first, third, fifth. Now if we go to our seventh, it's C sharp, but it's a flat 7 we want for the seventh chord. So lowering C sharp a half step brings us to C. Okay, so the notes in a D7 chord are D, F sharp, A, and C. So, if you don't believe me, let's go to your D7 chord fingering that we covered in that video, 7 seventh chords in 7 minutes. Let's look at your D7, okay? So your D7 chord, you've got your open D string, there's your root or your 1. Your second finger is playing the 2nd fret on the G string, which we know is an A, so now you have your 5th degree. Now your first finger is playing the 1st fret on the B string, which is a C. There's your flat 7, folks. How do you like them apples, huh? Then your 3rd finger is playing the 2nd fret on the high E string, which is an F sharp. So there we go. We have our D, we have our F sharp, we have an A, and then we have our flat 7, which is C. So as I discussed, a 7th chord has a bit of a bluesy sound. That's adding that flat 7 gives us that bluesy sound. So what would be good here, guys? Wrapping this up, it might be good for you to write out a few major scales and just figure out what the major and minor chord notes are. So guys, this is an intro to where chords come from. We discussed now where major and minor triads come from. So even though we haven't talked about diminished and augmented, which is a little bit more advanced, but they tend to be all lumped in 4 triads, right? Major, minor, diminished, augmented. But they're more commonly the major and minor triads. Now you know where they come from. So when you hear the term triad, you're not looking like a deer in the headlight or going, well, I don't know. Remember, I'm trying to help you here.
I'm trying to help you here.
Okay? Mindlessly going from YouTube channel to YouTube video and watching 20 seconds of each is not going to help your guitar playing. So if you find yourself caught in that vicious trap, try and work your way out of that. Okay? All right, guys. Practice hard, practice smart, and we'll see you soon.